Negative aspects of American foreign policy revealed. The US has also abandoned the failed state narrative and the practice of regime change. Following its departure from Afghanistan, leaving behind corruption, economic disaster, a weak government, and most all, an unhappy security force, the US seemed to have lost its ability to impose its will on the globe. Tolerating destabilization efforts against protests, challenging pro-Western regimes have been long-standing accusations against the US in the Middle East. Not just Afghanistan has cast a shadow on the US. An array of failures characterizes the US desire to shape the globe. Its military operations generally followed a diabolical pattern of murder, mayhem, and chaos. The 2011 and 2019 demonstrations altered the presidents of Egypt, Tunisia, Libya, Yemen, Sudan, Algeria, and Iraq, but not the political and economic systems that sustain Islamic extremism and authoritarian and illiberal government. These charges echoed in the recent Iraqi legislative elections. Due to the US loosening its influence on regional security, particularly in the Pacific Gulf, Qatar has been freed from the economic and diplomatic embargo imposed by Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Egypt. Similarly, the push to recognize Israel was launched to allow regional actors to make political choices. Taking a cue from the diminished US influence, China and Russia have also said that the Middle East must unite. The relationship between the United States and its allies came to a halt when it stopped being useful to the latter. The Pakistan-US relationship has followed suit. Pakistan was abandoned as it ceased to benefit the US. Rarely has the US left a nation protected and unified. Pakistan paid a high price for joining the fight against terrorism. TTP arose in opposition to such alliance. We paid the price for expecting Afghanistan to be saved from its political mess from 2007 to 2014, when innocent children were murdered at the Army Public School Peshawar. When it comes to terrorism, that nation is far more evil than it was before 9/11, thanks to decades of intervention and presence. The Middle East scenario is deteriorating as people desperately try to break the curse of bad government. So yet, the US has changed nothing in its behavior. A prospect exists, however, for the Taliban, when they have acclimated to UN principles and values, to be recognized and integrated into world society.